Hi everyone, my name is Griet Nijs. I work for a nature conservation organization in Flanders, Belgium called Natuurpunt. I will be talking today about the headstarting of curlews in Belgium. A lot of the information I will share with you today has been acquired through my colleague Jentel, who works for the Wildlife Rescue Center. Curlews in Belgium are under great pressure. In about 2 decades, we lost more than half of our local population. So it's no surprise that curlews are listed as endangered in Belgium. Most of our curlews breed in the northern eastern part of our country on the more sandy soils, except for about 40 breeding pairs that have settled in the western part of Belgium. These are a few examples of curlew breeding grounds in Flanders. So most of our curlews breed on grasslands, both under nature management as in agricultural use. Only a few breeding pairs remain that breed on heather, like this, since most heather has disappeared in Flanders. Because little was known about the reasons for the decline of curlews in Belgium, I started a study on breeding success and habitat use in 2020. During 5 years, and with the help of a lot of volunteers, we were able to monitor and protect 87 nests, of which 38% had hatched successfully, and about 29% was predated. In the first and last year, as you can see on the graph, we encountered high rates of abandonment as well. So in 2024, this was mostly due to the excessive rainfall. When we encountered recently abandoned nests during our monitoring, or we were dealing with a farmer that refused to cooperate and we knew that the clutch was going to be destroyed by agricultural activities, we collected the eggs and transferred them to an incubator. So eggs were collected only when there was no other solution and the eggs would otherwise be lost. In total, we collect 37 eggs of 23 different clutches over 5 years. So we got into headstarting rather by coincidence in 2020 after a farmer refused nest protection and the eggs were almost certainly going to be trampled by his cattle. So unfortunately, we didn't have any facility available at that time for headstarting, so we improvised a little bit and incubated the eggs at a friend's house, of course with the necessary permits. Once the chicks hatched, they were transported to the Wildlife Rescue Center and raised there. After 2 years, the Wildlife Rescue Center decided to buy their own egg incubator, which you can see on the right, and provided facilities for headstarting when necessary from that moment on. So the center, the Wildlife Rescue Center, provides normally shelter for indigenous animals in need, as well as for exotic animals from zoos, circuses, or illegal pet trade. They employ 20 staff members and get help from more than 200 volunteers, so they're quite big. When the chicks reach the air chamber, they are moved from the egg incubator to another incubator you can see here on the top right, with a higher humidity so that the chicks can break more easily through the eggshells. When they hatch, they are moved again to another incubator to keep them warm during the first 2 days. UV light is present for the healthy bone development during that time, and the temperature is slowly decreased from 34 degrees to 28 degrees during these first days. On day 3, the chicks move to a larger container with UV light and a heat lamp. Different surfaces are provided to prevent bumble feed. When they are about a week old, chicks move to a heated indoor room of about 6 square meters. The surface is covered with sand and straw, as you can see here, and a heat lamp and UV is still available. So when the chicks are about 20 days old, they are moved to an outdoor enclosure on the property of the Wildlife Rescue Center. During the first nights, the juvenile curlews are still kept indoors, as it can still be quite cold at night. Depending on the bird species that are brought into the shelter, the curlews are kept in mixed flocks with other species of meadow birds. So there is a shallow basin available, which you can see here at the back. That's mostly for the avocets, and there is no added heat except for the sun, of course. These outdoor pens can be quite difficult to keep predator and rat proof, but no curlews have been lost so far, luckily. So the diet of the chicks consists of a mixture of dead insects, live insects, and additional supplements. In their first week and a half, the proportion of live insects is about 60 to 70% to stimulate the development of their pecking reflex. After that, the ratio of live to dead insects is about 50-50. We all know that head starting can be quite costly. In 2024, we had about 15 chicks that hatched and 11 that were released. And the total amount of the costs was 10,000 euros approximately. So that's about 900 euros per released chick. There are no standard veterinary checkups. Veterinary intervention only takes place when problems arise. So during the first year, we encountered some problems with brittle bone and stagnated growth. And to prevent that, UV light is now available for the chicks. A case of bumblefoot was handled by administering pain relief and providing different surfaces. And some chicks suffered, unfortunately, from broken bones after flying into objects in their outdoor pen, so adjustments to the pen were made. This year we had a case of torticollis this year. So that chick was administered selenium, vitamin E, calcium, and he got a neck splint. His situation improved, but unfortunately the chick did not make it. So this is the chick with torticollis. You can see that its neck is completely turned. So when the juveniles are able to fly, they are released back into nature. We apply a hard release, so the chicks are transported from the Wildlife Rescue Center directly to the release site and released. We prefer to release them on the site the eggs originated from, if this location, of course, meets the requirements of a suitable habitat. The average age on release is 52 days, and we release them between the end of June and half of August. During 5 years, we were able to release 23 chicks, of which 11 in the last year. Of the 7 chicks we released in 2020, 2 were resided in the northwestern Spain during their first winter. 2 years later, 3 of them returned to the breeding grounds, found a partner, and attempted to breed. In 2022, 2 juveniles were released, equipped with a GPS transmitter, as you can see on the back here. One of them was unfortunately predated near the release site after about 2 weeks, and the other one migrated to the French coast in August, where it was unfortunately illegally shot. One of the chicks released in 2023 received a sighting on the French coast. Hopefully that chick will return safely to the breeding grounds, just like the juveniles that were released this year. And this photo of the adorable chicks on a nest is a result of one of our head-started curlews that returned to the breeding grounds as an adult female, and it is proof that headstarting can contribute to the conservation of the local population. Thank you so much.